This is Shel C from Paper Octio Studio, and today I'm sharing with you a memorial project that I did as a gift for Memorial Day for my mother, and it's also going to be entered in the Family Challenge on the Canvas Corp Brands blog, which you can also enter by simply linking up with them, and I will put the link to the challenge in below and you will be able to click on that. Also, I'll put it in my blog along with information about this project. But if you're watching this, you probably don't need information, but maybe you do. Maybe you want to know what products I used. So I'm starting out with the watering can media pad from Canvas Corp Brands. And it has lots of different things in it. Papers, burlap, corrugated paper, all kinds of stuff, fabric, printed fabric. And these papers were all from it, including the one with the watering cans and the bicycles. And I wanted them to match the other papers. And so I spritzed them with some of the Tattered Angels from Canvas Corp Brands sprays. And one of them was a glimmer mist and the other two were baseboard, which is the same stuff only without the mica. And I was just using the colors that I had. And then I cut my paper into 6x6 squares, and I'm gluing them back to back because the paper isn't double-sided and I want to have pattern on both sides. So I will say that you might have heard of a flip book before, and it's something that you put in the mail and you put little goodies in it, kind of like a pocket letter. Same type of a concept. I got this idea. I saw one, Eva Levy Arts channel. She was making a flip book, which she got the idea from someone named Karen Herrera, who I don't know, but she has a channel. She was having a challenge. Then Eva made one, and I saw it, and I saw how it opened and flipped and flopped and did cool stuff, and I wanted to make it, but I didn't want to make it for a mailing. I wanted to make it more like a little scrapbook, kind of, is what it really is more like a little scrapbook, although it does flip and flop the same way. But I'm not mailing it. I'm not putting goodies in it. I'm just going to give it as a gift. So I have these old photos of my grandmother. And, I mean, these are old photos. They're like scratched up and faded. And I wanted to use those. There's not that many photos of my grandmother, especially when she was younger or when her 10 children were younger. Yes, she had 10 children because there was a house fire and things got burned up. And so there's not that many of them around, so anything that we do have is really cherished and really valuable, but I don't think that anybody's actually made any kind of scrapbook at all, although I might be wrong. Maybe some aunts or cousins have. But these ones I had scans of, these pictures, and so I'm not using the original pictures. In fact, I don't even know where the original pictures are. I got scanned copies when we were making a memorial flip page, you know, one of those things where it shows picture after picture after picture on a screen. And I wanted to print them and make them into something. So I did that. I printed them on my inkjet printer, and I'm going to make this little book. So I've got my little 6x6 pages, and then I'm using some washi tape. And now the washi tape's not from Canvas Corp Brands. It was ones that I had. And the polka dot ones are a fabric washi tape, which I got somewhere. Amazon maybe? And I was just looking in my bin of washi tapes for things that might match this, and these came up, and I think they're going to be really durable, but I needed ones that matched the colors. So all the papers so far and the sprays are from Canvas Corp Brands. So you guys might know I'm on the design team. They call it the creative crew. So of course I'm going to be making some projects with Canvas Corp Brands products because I'm on the design team. So yeah. And so I have products. So basically, these things all need to be taped together. And when you're taping, something that I figured out after I did it, you should leave a little gap. Like when you're butting up these two 6x6 pieces, you should leave a little gap because when they're all folded over, they're going to become bulkier and bulkier, and they need that little extra space. The reason that I'm doing 6x6, a couple different reasons. One of them is I have a vellum envelope, which you will see. I think I put it at the end in the close-ups. I have a 6x6 pack of vellum envelopes that I think I got from Stampin' Up. Just perfect for this project. This fits right inside of it, and you could mail it. I'm not going to mail it, I'm just going to hand it. But, you know, it's nice to have a finishing thing. Also, the one that Eva did was 6x6 as well. I'm not sure if that's a standard. I'm not really that familiar with flip books, so if I do something wrong, you know, and you guys have been making these things and you're like, oh, she's crazy. This isn't the normal stuff that I do. I'm a mixed media artist. I don't normally do this kind of more scrapbooking type stuff. Although I have scrapbooked in the past, I don't really do it on a regular basis. So I'm just kind of doing a little scrapbook in a way that I thought made sense. So I've trimmed down all my photos and trimmed the white off of them. I printed them on photo paper, and so the photo paper was 4x6, but the photos were all odd sizes. You know, back in the day, they made those little weird square photos and stuff. So, and some of them might have been trimmed before before they were scanned. I'm not sure, but that's my grandma. Her name is Grace, and there's my grandpa and grandma together when they were young. Look at, aren't they cute? Like all cuddly. And then this picture that I'm putting on the front when I'm decorating the front is my grandmother with my mother as a baby, who was her first child. And so she's the oldest of all of them. So I'm decorating with the different washi tapes, the fabric-y one, and then I also have one I think from Recollections that had the right colors and a little bit of pattern, because it's fun, and it's also the way that this thing is attached. And then there was this piece of black on ivory cardstock in the pack that I didn't originally pull out, but I realized I need to mat the photos, so I'm using acid-free tape to do that. But then I do glue some of this together with Aleene's tacky glue. These little flowers, also from Recollections. It's probably a secret, but Canvas Corp Brands makes Recollections. Shh, I didn't tell you that. Anyway, so these little flowers I got at Michael's, and I'm going to spray them with the same colors. I'm trying to keep with the 3 colors to keep unified. I don't want to throw in any more extra weird colors, so I'm using the sprays, and the cardstock from the pack all coordinates with each other. That's a nice thing about having a pack like that. Everything in that pack is coordinating. Even the burlap. The burlap is the same green. There's some other like crafty colored, like the corrugated paper and stuff like that are craft colored. There's a couple other craft printed on craft color with black in the pack, but I'm not using those. I'm just using the ones that are ivory out of the pack. It has a lot of stuff in it. You can make a lot of fun stuff with a pack like this. There's also this sheet that has all these different words on it, and you could use it as a whole sheet, but I decided to cut the words and use them in my little book because I thought that made sense. And then I have some buttons that were in my stash that had coordinating colors, so I'm using those as well. So I've just got to dry these things that I sprayed because they're still wet. I gave them a good spray. I really soaked them. I wanted to make sure they were nice and colored. And then I'm putting my picture on, and then these little stem things, these little die cuts, I got those in a swap sometime, or some Happy Mail or something. I have these that are like little tulip stems, and then these other type of a stem, but no flowers. So I don't even know where I got them. I'm not sure. Probably a swap, because I know I didn't buy them. So they're working out great for this because they're close enough to the colors, and then there's a dark and a light, so it's kind of like a little shadow. And I'm going to put those on and then put my little flowers on there. And my words. And that's right, there's never enough time with the ones that you love. I'm planning on releasing this video on Memorial Day. I know Memorial Day is sometimes about the fallen soldiers, but for us, for my family, we have always picked flowers from the garden and taken them to the graves. And that includes both all my relatives where they live and then also where I lived as a child. We always did that. Um, Beautiful irises and daffodils and things like that. A few tulips. Put them in little mayonnaise jars or whatever, so as not to, because the people at the graveyard, they throw them away if you don't go pick them up. Next time they need to mow, they're like, this stuff is out of here. We're mowing. So I really like that tradition. I don't do it now because I don't live near any grave places where any of my loved ones are buried. But I think it's a great idea. And my best friend, when she's around my hometown, she puts flowers on my dad's grave, which is really nice of her. Because they're doing all their family too, and she just brings extra and puts them on my dad's grave. So, all about remembering those ones that are gone. So these two little pieces of paper, one with the little bird and the nest, those are from a bigger sheet. I don't know if you saw me cut it out, but it was also in the pack, and it just has a lot of different pictures on it. Again, you could use it as a whole sheet, or you can cut the pictures out. And I'm using the sprays that I used earlier to watercolor. These Tattered Angel sprays, they make great liquid watercolors. Just put a little bit on a palette and call it good. Of course, I didn't have a brown spray, so I had to use a pen for that. And that's a Pitt marker. They're there on my desk, so I just grabbed them. That's India ink. Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens in the brush. And then, of course, my white Posca pen. I can't do a project without that. I swear, if someone came and took my Posca pen, I'd be in trouble. I'd be like, oh no, I can't do art. I don't have my Posca pen. I make sure that if one is running low, that I go and order another 3-pack off of Amazon just in case that it might actually run out or get clogged up or something. It would be just terrible. So I love those pens. Those are my favorite. And then with the little birdie, I'm using, of course, some more Pitt pens. And then I colored the leaves and the eggs with the same Tattered Angels mists that I was using before. So there's my little decorations. And then I'm just figuring out how to lay things out. I put some more of the washi tapes, using the same washi tapes all the way through, of course. And then I've got my little nest with this little blue robin's eggs or something. And then my little bird. I always press everything down that I glue with my forearm instead of my hand. Have you ever noticed that? If you've been watching my videos, it's kind of strange, isn't it? But I always do it. And then I'm just putting on some more buttons. I got out all these little coordinating buttons out of my stash and just putting them on there because I think they look cute. I add a little extra dimension. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video and the idea of making a memorial flip book for somebody, and that maybe you guys would give it a try. I know this is different from what I normally do on my channel, so I hope I don't get a bunch of thumbs downs. Don't make this anymore. That would be bad, so please don't do that. Okay, so once you've decorated the two, it's shut and then it opens and you see these 2 pages and then it opens again and you see 4 pages. Isn't that cool? I'm not sure I ever would have thought of that myself, because I would have made a book. I would have made a book that you open the cover and then there's the next page and the next page and the next page. I wouldn't have thought to flip it open and flip it shut like that. That's the thing that I thought was really cool when I watched Eva's video. And I will link her video down below so you can see the one that she made. And then in her video, she has links to ones that other people made in case you're really interested in this flip book idea. And you can put little pockets in there and little extra things that flip up and flip open, flip so that you can see things underneath it. And then, of course, you put little goodies for the person that you're mailing it to, little clips and embellishments, and little buttons would be good, ribbon, little flat wraps of washi tape, stuff like that. It's the same type of a concept as a pocket letter, if you guys know what that is. Just different. And cool. Very, very cool. If I had one to mail to somebody, I would, because I think that would be really fun. Probably need to find a group that swaps them, maybe. As if I didn't already have enough to do. Okay, so now I'm decorating the inside pages. That's a professional photo of my grandmother there. That was retouched. Back in the day they used to make a black and white photo and then they would retouch it. So it's a very different look than what you would get by natural photos that we take nowadays. I guess they probably, if you happen to have, a big wart or a zit or something on your face, they probably get rid of it. Make you look your very, very best. If you have a stray hair sticking out. I guess they call that retouching now. You can get retouched photos. But I never have done that. Yeah, I'm just talking. This is always what happens. I'm just talking. So I'm, of course, watercoloring this little. This is another sheet that had like little pictures and tags all over it. And I just cut one out. And then I'm watercoloring it with the same Tattered Angels mists. And then, of course, I've got some more of these words from this big sheet of words. I'm liking that about the paper that Canvas Corp Brands makes. In another one of the pads that I have, that's one of the 7 Gypsies ones, there's a whole sheet of words, and you can cut them out and make your own little phrases. If you guys have been watching the Tags from My Desk series on my channel, where I make altered tags out of stuff that's on my desk. I have that one sheet of paper, and I've just been making like cute little quotes out of it. It's pretty cool. So this picture on this side of Grandma and Grandpa when they were young and cute, it's too big I didn't want to trim it down and lose part of the picture, cut off their feet or something. And I wanted to put it on there as it was, but it's too big to put a mat underneath it. So I decided to make it more decorative. I would just stick it down with the washi tape. And I thought that turned out pretty cute. And then I've got another little flower here to put on with that stem. I kind of jump around when I'm doing this stuff. One page to another to another. I don't finish one thing. I keep jumping around. But that's for that page with Grandma's retouched photo. We miss her. You get really attached to people and then they pass away. It's very sad. We miss Grandma Grace. So I've got all my little words that I cut out, putting those on, pressing everything down with my forearm. Probably because my hands they've got all kinds of sticky stuff on them, and they're stained, and I don't want to mess anything up on my pretty little book. Don't want to get any smears on it. Which I would. Definitely, that would happen. Those type of things totally happen in my life. So then this little watercolored piece that I did earlier, I'm going to mount it and turn it into a little tag. And this would be a great place if you're going to add some journaling, which I probably will, but it's private, so I'm not going to do it until after I'm done. You can put your journaling on the back of this little tag, whatever you want it to say about the little book. And of course you could also make things that flip up. Like I could have made the photos flip up or to the side so that I could put secret messages underneath. But I don't need to say that much, so I'm just going to do it with my one little tag. That particular paper is dark on the front and light on the back, so that works pretty good. So this is just a little pocket. I'm taking a little extra scrap of the paper and I put the washi tape across the top and then cut it with some decorative scissors to make it a little bit more decorative. Hence the name, Decorative Scissors. And that's my little pocket, and then my little tag for journaling will stick inside there. See, sticks right in there. And I've got some gingham ribbon to put through the little tag. So this project overall took me about 2 hours and 20 minutes to complete. Of course, I've sped it up and cut pieces out in order to make it be around 20 minutes. Now I'm going to add some color to this little page with my 2 cute little birds and the words that were cut out from the different Canvas Corp Brands paper pad papers. Got way too much of that yellow. I spilled it. These 2 little birds are kind of sitting on a branch looking down. I thought they were cute. They're kind of like peeking. It's kind of like they're peeking over looking down. So that's why I picked them. They're adorable. And just using that spray to, watercolor. And then I soaked up the extra with another flower that I use in a different project. So now I have a yellow flower. So if you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, give it a comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and even share if you want to pin this to your Pinterest or anything like that. All the links that I mentioned will be below, and then I'll also link my blog post up above in the iCard in the corner so that you can find that. And here are the close-ups. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.